My name's Aaron Cairo. I'm a sponsored skateboarder from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm going to teach you every single basic trick all the way up through kickflip. This is video number 2 in the series, and the first step of this video right here is what we call the popcorn. I love the movies. I love popcorn. Great. Well, you're going to love this trick even more, son. All right, so put your feet just like that below the board. You have your board like that, flip it over, get it just like that. And now you're going to jump up and you're going to lift your toes just like that, and you're going to land like that on the board. So have your toes under there, lift it up, and then land just like that. So the first step of this, now you could literally just do that. You ready? Highly recommended. Say, but Aaron, why are we doing this? Well, if you saw video 1, we're going from the very absolute easiest parts of all of the riding, which we covered in part 1 video. Now this is part 2, and now we're going into the tricks, all of the tricks that are easier than the Ollie. So ready? This is the first trick easier than the Ollie. And it's called popcorn. And it's where most people start out as their absolute very first trick after you learn how to do the basics of riding. So now that you got that first step, the practice step, you got it? Now you're gonna step on there with both feet. You're gonna jump up, you have your knees bent. And before you get into this trick, might I recommend helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist guards. You ready? Knees bent, jump up, forward, and land flat on that board. Sometimes I recommend, if you're really scared to jump on it, you can go like this. Woo! Woo! You know what I'm saying? Jump on and off that board to get used to what it's gonna feel like. Because then you're adding this in. It's not always easy, but it's breezy. And if you're thinking, whoa, the board is going to roll. I don't want to do that, I'm not comfortable. Well, guess what? You need to go back to video number 1 and work on your basics of riding until you're comfortable enough to jump on a board that is going to roll. Because guess what? Skateboards roll. Put your feet underneath it, jump on. And that's it. It's pretty much all there is to it. Lift your feet up, go forward, land on the board. I really do think it helps you do one foot and then do the second one as if it is one foot. That's what we have for the popcorn. Let's roll into the next trick. Okay, so the nose stall. What is a nose stall? Well, good question. You're gonna have to find a stair or maybe a curb, this here manual pad, and you're gonna basically ride up to it and put your nose on there. So the first step to this, I literally want you to just put your nose on there and just stand on the nose. You're basically gonna work on transferring your weight from your back foot to your front foot. Just like that. Nice and easy. Simple, right? The smaller that is, the easier this is going to be. So you're gonna ride up nice and slow and just run your nose into it and transfer all your weight from your back foot to your front foot until you're standing like that. Look at us now. We did a stall. And then you can basically just fall off and transfer your weight back from there to there. So this is a good exercise in basic weight transfer on a skateboard. Back foot to front foot to back foot. And that's the nose stall. Those are the steps. Those are some basic practice steps. Put in your work and get it down. If you're a brand new skater, throw this into your game of skate. Let's run it. The next trick is the caveman. Yes, Chris, the caveman. Chris being our resident caveman. Yeah. So on this, you're gonna grab the nose. There's a little bit of controversy that Christopher brought up. He said in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, they call this a caveman. And this, an acid drop. So leave it in the comments below because we're calling this a caveman. So what's the first steps of this? Know where to put your foot. And by foot, I mean hand. So your hand is right there in that sort of pocket. And you don't want it directly over the nose. I mean, you can if you want to, but I would say right there is a little easier because you have the control point a little easier this way and this way. So then you're basically gonna drop it and put your back foot on. That's it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. Oh, oh, oh. Just like that. And then why don't you just switch feet? You know, just for fun. That front foot on there. Maybe you can roll it with your leg up. Yeah. Now, going from that to this might be a pretty big jump. which is why I'm teaching you very, very carefully, one step at a time. Because if you're doing one step at a time, you're much less likely to get hurt. If you jump from this step to this step, there's injury involved in between those steps because you can fall down the steps. If you jump from this step to the next step to the next step to the next step, easy. So check this out. Now you're gonna go like this, toss your board down, wait, jump. Time, my friend. It is your friend, my friend. We are your friends, my friend. And then just take a little bit of time out of it each time. Until you feel confident enough to sort of jump off one leg, land on the other leg on the board. You can go front foot on the ground, back foot on the board first, and put it down. Also, I just realized this is how you catch kickflips. So if you want to learn how to catch your kickflips better, why don't you run some of these Cavemans? Cavemans, plural. Now we have a whole group. See? And that right there is the basic Caveman. When you're feeling really good and you have fully padded up head, shoulders, knees, and toes pads, you can jump off something into crab walk from video 1. Now you're starting to get it. Now you're starting to have fun. Now you're starting to like skateboarding. I think it's changed your life already. Next trick. The next trick we're gonna do is roll off a curb. So here's a curb. This one is a little bit bigger than most curbs. You could kind of measure it with your board. This one goes towards a little bit above there. I would say maybe your average curb is only about that high. Get a small one to start with. But here's the key, lifting up just ever so slightly. So I'm gonna use that crack right there as my practice, and I'm gonna ride up to it, and I'm just gonna lift up my front trucks. Ready, just lift it up. That's it. It really only needs to be just for a split second, especially if you're rolling fast. So you're gonna ride up, lift up. When you ride off the curb, if you don't lift up, your front trucks are gonna fall off and you're gonna fall, which is what we're trying to avoid. This is what will happen. And then you get this hideous scratch on your board going the wrong way. Oh, not too bad. And you don't like that. No? Nobody likes that, right, Chris? Mm-mm. So to avoid that, you get going with a fair amount of speed. Now you give it a little push, lift up now, roll off. The whole object of this is that you're going and your board remains level. You don't even need to lift it up more than that. You really just need to keep it level. But that requires weight on your back tail right there, and then it's gonna fall off and land. You see, you don't have to ride off like this. You can just ride off like this. All 4 wheels hit the ground at the same time. You got it? We golden. We out here. Let's run it. Lift up, and then yell to your friends, first try! Make sure the try part is a little more Scooby-Doo-ish than the other part. And that's the roll off a curb. Do not overcomplicate that. Keep it simple. Make sure your commitment is in, your feet are in the right place, your head is in the right place, and run it. You got this. The next step is roll to fakie on a bank. So for this one, we're gonna find the smallest, easiest bank in the whole park. Follow me. Okay, so you're gonna find the smallest bank. If you don't have a skate park available, you can probably find a little curb cut on a street somewhere that looks kind of similar to this. So now, the thing to understand is there is some weight adjustment here. And I'm gonna show you by using my shoulders and arms. I'm gonna push up and I'm gonna lean back ever so slightly and then forward again. So you're adjusting your weight from the flat to the bank. The key thing with all of these tricks is I'm getting you more and more comfortable on the board and getting you ready to do ollie, shove it, kickflip, all the tricks that you really want to do. So follow along with me here. We got this. Shoulders out, lean back, and back to flat. So you're rolling on the flat, nice and flat, and then lean back, and then go down. If you are just leaning forward the whole time and you hit the top, well, you're gonna fall back like that, which we want to avoid. And if you're leaning back and you go up, well, then you're gonna fall forward like that, which we also want to avoid. Helmet, knee pads, elbow pads. Be safe out there. Skateboarding is fun. Skateboarding is about you conquering both the mental and physical battle of this board. It's not about recovering from injuries. Remember that. Okay, knees bent, right up, and just roll back. This is the first time you're going backwards also. See how we're building these skills a little bit at a time. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna go into a little bit of how to practice. So when you go to practice on your skateboard every day, you wanna see a little improvement. No matter what that is, you felt a little more comfortable, you got a little more confident, you did some little movement that you thought, I did this better today than yesterday. Very well done, you're getting there. That is how you practice. Skate as much as possible. Well, I'm not gonna say as much as possible. If you go out every day for 20 minutes, that's great. If you go out every day for an hour, that's great. If you go out every day for 6 hours, you might be overextending yourself. And you need to cut it down and just do a little bit of practice, then come back. Andy Anderson, Olympic athlete, I believe his training schedule was maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. And that was all he was focused on in his entire life, was just doing that training. You might think, wow, shouldn't he do more? No, you don't want to over fatigue yourself. You want to give yourself both mental and physical gains on this skateboard and get good at increasing your ability to control this and move this where you want to. That's where little improvements like rolling up and down this bank come in handy. You might think, wow, it's too easy. Well, great, you're getting the point now. Let's go to a bigger bank. Okay, so we're gonna roll up to the bigger bank, and it's literally the exact same thing, except for more speed, more leaning, more straighten out. So it's just more of everything. But you already know what to do on the smaller one, so just do the same thing on the bigger one. Just like that, flatten out. You're getting it. Okay, we're gonna roll up nice and flat, head and shoulders, knees bent, and then bend back, lean back, and then back, straighten out. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Little improvements. We'll just do body burial right here on the surface of the sun. Why is it so hot in Fremont, California?
Because you're out here, babe.
Okay.
I meant to say boy.
Chris just called me bae. Leave it in the comments below. So you're gonna put your feet on the bolts of the trucks right there. It's much easier. So you're gonna step up on your board just like that. Before you even jump on the board, you're actually gonna do this off the board. First step of this, bend your knees, you're on flat ground, and you're gonna turn your head and shoulders, give it a little wind up, and jump into a 180. Boom. Boom, you got that. Do that just on the ground as many times as you need. You need to do it 10, 20 times, do it. Then jump on the board. Knees bent a lot. Now turn your head and shoulders and jump. Turn. That is all there is to this trick. You do really gotta keep it simple. The control point is in the upper half of your body, turning first, then your legs. You can do it all as one smooth motion, it's easier. So kind of wind up like a baseball bat, spin, and turn. You gotta give it a little jump. Give it a little jump. Good. Again, why are we learning this trick? To increase your board control. I'm gonna keep repeating that because it's important. Gradient scales of steps up to the tricks that you really want to know. So I'm gonna give it a push now, a little bit of motion. Now we're gonna body varial. There you go. Start out small, start out slow. Start out slow and just do it with a little more speed. Feet on the bolts, 180. If you hit that step and you're like, whoa, I can't do that. I'm moving too fast and I'm too uncomfortable. Go back to the first video, 10 basic steps of riding, run through the whole thing again. Practice makes perfect. On to the next tricks. Okay, I already taught you how to ride up and ride down the bank. So that's just a little bit of speed. Now when you're first doing this, go to the smallest bank possible. So this one is pretty easy. You're basically just pushing, get a good amount of speed, and then you're gonna roll up and hopefully over the top lip of that edge. And it's gonna look just like this. Oh, made it. If you don't have enough speed, you won't make it up there. So you gotta give a good amount of pushing from the flat bottom to make sure you're gonna make it up there. And if you can't push fast enough, go back to the first video, 10 basic steps of riding, get it down, master it. Push it up there, and you're up on the top. That's it. Ask yourself, Aaron, why is this a trick? Because you're gonna learn it, that's why. Okay, now we're gonna take it to a bigger bank. So I'm gonna get a good amount of speed, and I'm gonna roll pretty fast, and I'm gonna make it up that bank. Okay, give it a push, 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 and bend your knees, and release, and you're up. The faster you go, the easier it is. If you're scared of going fast, ride your board more. Get more comfortable on your board. Again, we're gonna rebait this. We're gonna push, push. Your front foot is forward. You're giving it a nice push. Step on with both feet, knees bent, and you're up. And you're golden. Now that you're up on top of the bank, you're gonna roll in on that bank. So to roll in, I would say, if I had to guess, the biggest battle on this is gonna be the mental battle. Am I gonna fall? Is it gonna be okay? Am I riding fast enough? Well, to answer that question, it's how well did you master the first 10 steps of riding? How much riding have you done on your skateboard? Because if you've done a lot, then you're just gonna simply push up to this. Make sure that you have your helmet on, your knee pads, your elbow pads. Because if you're standing up like this and you're not bending your knees a lot, then you're very likely to fall back on this. That's the way that you would fall off a bank, back like that. Because the momentum is carrying you down and your weight being up, it's gonna go like this. Woo! I've seen it happen to the best of them. So we're gonna roll up with just a little bit of speed, knees bent, helmet on, roll in, keep it rolling. And you already know how to ride up the bank. This is like the rite of passage. Ride up and ride off the bank. Soon, you'll be olling up and olling off a curb. Video coming soon, okay? Front foot on the board, give it a little push, bend the knees. I'm gonna hold my shoulders out to show you how my weight is gonna go. There we go. The only real practice steps for this are smaller banks. So just find the absolute smallest bank you can and then take it to a little steeper, little steeper, little steeper, until you know you're bombing down a steep bank like this one. And roll down. Make sure you're bending your knees, most important piece. And that's roll off a bank. Are you guys having fun yet? If you are, leave it in the comments below. If you're gonna stick with me on this whole video series, all the way from beginner to kickflip, leave it in the comments below. If you just got a skateboard recently, or you just started skateboarding again recently, let me know in the comments below. I'm working really hard to build a whole community of skateboarders. Let's move on to the next trick, which is backside kick turn. You did it on the flat, 180, just like this in the first video. Now, we're taking it to the bank. Okay, so the key to a 180 kick turn on a bank is head, shoulders, turn them first, turn them first. So you're gonna ride up, you're gonna turn as though you're looking at someone behind you, and then turn your legs. Oh, Erin, you did a good job. Okay, you roll up, turn your head and shoulders, then your legs. Very, very important that you turn your upper body first, because if you try to turn your legs without your upper body, it's gonna look like this. Ouch. Might throw your back out, kind of hurt my ankle, my leg's a little tweak. So turn your head and shoulders. Like that. That is the final boss of this. So we're gonna work yourself up to the final boss by doing this step right here. Mini little turns. Make sure your knees are bent, your helmet's on, you're ready. Little turns, just little tiny pieces. If it's easier for you to do it in 2 or 3, do it in 2 or 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna do it in 2. I also recommend finding the most gradual bank possible, the very easiest one, before you go steeper and steeper. 2 steps, 1, 2. The basic in this is mainly in the head and shoulders, bending that front knee, little pressure on the back. 1, 2. You got it. Now you got the 2-step, turn it into 1. Really crank those head and shoulders, turn, land. Beautiful, I said, beautiful. Gonna ride up, fair amount of speed, not too much. Wind up, turn head and shoulders, legs. Now we're gonna do it with all the arm motions gone. So we're just gonna roll up, let's give it a nice little turn. Doesn't that look so fun? I think so too. One more, and then we're going on to the last trick of this video, frontside. Nailed it. Okay, so that's the backside kick turn. I hope you guys are learning something. I think I'm gonna maybe publish these maybe a week, maybe even less than a week apart. But I wanna give you guys following this series enough time to be able to simply learn the trick and then go on to the next part of the series as it's going. So in the first 2 videos, I'm covering a lot of tricks. And then from here forward, it will only be 1 trick at a time, because after these first 2, which are your most basic core rock bottom fundamentals. Then we're getting into the tricks, which are more difficult, which a lot of people just start with. But you know what? I'm teaching you the right way. Don't start with them. Start with all of this stuff. Start with the easiest stuff. Great. Now that I'm done talking to you like a teacher, let's frontside kick turn. So this one, same thing as the backside, only you're turning this way. You might be asking yourself, well, why do they call it frontside? Okay, I gotta answer that in this video, of course. Because skateboarding came from surfing. And let's pretend that's a wave. And you say which side is of the front of your body facing the top of the wave. Right here, so the top is the top of the wave. Now I'm turning, my front is toward the wave. Front side, that's a frontside turn. It's showing the direction of the turn. Notice how I almost fell. And this, my back is facing the top, backside turn. So that's your explanation on backside, frontside. Let's get to the turn. Same thing as the backside, many little steps. Turn it frontside. This one is harder. It's harder to see where you're going. It's harder to control. Turn your head and shoulders. Little steps. Of course, the ultimate in practicing this would just be simply on the ground. And then go to the smallest bank possible and give it a run. So a bunch of little steps to start out with. Turn the head and shoulders. Beep, 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 beep. Next, we're gonna do it in 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. You ready? Turn the head and shoulders. 1, 2, 3. And roll out. I hope you're getting more comfortable on your board. That's the point. 1, 2, 3. Give yourself some turns. Put it all together. Roll up. Go. 1, 2, 3. Give yourself some turns. Run it. Now we're gonna turn that 3 into 2 and then eventually into 1. Ready? 1, 2. And I'm slamming down for effect. Slamming down to show y'all how it is. Wind up, turn. 1, 2. Run it. You notice I'm bending my front knee, pushing down on my back foot. Nice and easy. You guys really practiced this in the first video. Should be a breeze at this point. We're gonna turn that 2 into 1. Turn. 1 smooth motion. Let's go. Another way you can use to practice is you don't have to go up straight. You can go at a turn, and then it's just a little bit less of a 180. You can go up at an angle, and then you have to do less of a 180. That's also another good practice step. Okay, so when you're ready for the full enchilada, full wang dang, and give it a push, turn those head and shoulders, turn those legs, front side kick turn. You nailed it. Look back at your cameraman, Christopher, and say, dang, that boy fine. The more you turn your head and shoulders and get that timing right with your legs, the easier this will be. So you're gonna ride up, turn head and shoulders, legs, stomp, you're rolling. So I'll do backside that way?
Yeah.
Head and shoulders, turn, legs, turn. So that is the conclusion of video number 2 in this Learn to Skate series. I hope you guys are having an absolute blast. Like I said, I'm working very hard to build together a whole platform. This will evolve. I'm working on the app and getting as many people using the app as possible, and then seeing how people progress. And then I can tell, oh, people are getting stuck around trick number 4 or practice step number 5, and then I can handle that and put in maybe an additional step or maybe an additional video in there and help people smoothly progress from knowing nothing about skateboarding all the way through the kick flip, heel flip, varial heel flip, kick flip, tray flip, every kind of flip trick you can imagine. But if you see those tricks and you're like, wow, I would really, really love to be able to do that. Well, guess what? It starts with this. It starts with these most basic, simple fundamentals. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I will be putting one of these videos up every single Tuesday. We call it Tutorial Tuesday, so stay tuned every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. But we make videos every single day. Every single day, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there is a new Braille skateboarding video that goes up. You guys don't always get those videos, you don't always see those videos, but they go up. You'll have to go to our channel, search it out, find it, search that new video, and it will be there 10 a.m. right on the spot. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I really want to use this to achieve my purpose and goal in life, which is to get as many people riding a skateboard as possible. So the more you guys are following this series, watching these videos, and learning yourself, and then telling others, hey, guess what? I'm doing the Learn to Skateboard Challenge from Aaron Cairo, and I've taken up the challenge, and I'm challenging you to do it. Well, you can help get other people on a board. So let's run it. Get all your friends on there. Learn to ride, learn to skate, watch these YouTube videos. And if you need more additional help, you can join Braille Army Plus, where you will get personal coaching through each and every single one of these steps right there, right from one of our coaches. So I'll see you on there. Thanks a lot, Braille Army. You guys are an absolute inspiration, and I love, 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 love seeing your videos on the Braille Army app. Keep it coming. Check out all those videos right there. Subscribe, like, leave a comment below, and you, yes you, learn to ride a skateboard. If you're watching this video and you have not learned how to ride a skateboard, go back to video 1, start this video number 2, and let's keep it going through this whole series. Let's run it, Braille Army.